This is Goals with Soul, the podcast for visionary coaches and entrepreneurs, building your business with inspired action. In alignment with your mission and authentic message, so you can create impact for your soul clients and feel lit up every day. I'm your host, Jo Ingram, married mum of 3 daughters from London and a former ad agency director turned business coach and strategist. In Goals with Soul, we blend revenue generation with energetics, marketing strategies with pranic healing, and ambitious business goals with our soul's desires. If you're looking to build your business with less efforting and more ease, this is the podcast for you. Let's dive in. Now, if you are ready to make a massive impact this year and leave behind the lack of momentum and the struggles, you are in the right place with this episode today. We are talking about making a quantum shift, which is language that to me simply means introducing magic that makes a reality of what you've dreamt about now. Not waiting anymore, not being that person you were yesterday, but embodying the person that you want to be tomorrow, today. Now, let me give you a bit of a story about this one. It was only last week that I was really struggling to build the momentum and get back in the flow for 2022. I had taken it easy over Christmas. In fact, I did no work for 2 weeks, which was needed because when you're a striving, driven person, sometimes you can get stuck in that overdoing, overproving. And then, for me, that leads to overburn or burnout rather. And I don't want that for you. I don't want that for anyone. So it's really important that we do take it easy sometimes. But so often, then we have to really motivate ourselves and get back into this action-taking, high vibe moment. And for me, it did take a long time. I think it was about January 10th before I really started to feel those tingles, the excitement where I just couldn't wait to get to my desk. I really wanted to do things. Now, I love being part of masterminds and being in high vibe groups of female entrepreneurs. And I was with my mentor only yesterday and talking about some of the challenges I'd had. And now I was back in the swing of things. I was at a position where I had so many things I wanted to achieve instantaneously that I was starting to feel overwhelmed. Has this ever happened to you where you write a to-do list and you think, oh my God, I really want to do all of this stuff, but I can't do it all simultaneously. Not unless I work 24 hours a day. And this is the choice or the challenge that I was faced with. And I sat on this call with these wonderful women and my mentor, and I spoke about my options. I said, well, this is how I see it. I could, option A, work 24/7, work late nights, work weekends just to get it all done. But that isn't a realistic option because I've been through the burnout cycle and I respect myself too much. I love my family and I have a bigger vision in place. I'm not going back to that. Okay, so what can we do for option B? Option B is decide not to do some of the things or just take longer. Maybe instead of launching my new offer, my mastermind next month, I could do it in 3 months' time. Maybe instead of writing the article I've been invited to write now, I could do it in the future. This is absolutely a valid option. However, it wasn't sitting well with me and it didn't feel aligned. I just knew that I needed to do a lot of those things sooner. I'm launching my mastermind next month. The Time to Rise program is happening, and I'll tell you more about that later. And I'm not willing to wait when I know that people need my special brand of support. So what about option C? What else can I do? And this is where the magic really started to happen. I recognized that there is a universe of support out there. Spirit wants us to have everything in our vortex of our desires. And the universe is there ready to give whatever we need to receive if we're just open to receiving it. And I know that when you ask the universe for help, help is given. If you are ready to receive it, you can have whatever you need in this lifetime. And so, of course, I said, this is it. Option C is the one. I need to lean in and take action, but I need to give over some of these things to the universe. Mike Dooley has a fantastic tool for this, a triangle, where on one side of the triangle, you write your commitments, what you are going to do and the actions you're going to take. And on the other side of the triangle, you ask the universe for help. Now, the universe helps with magic. So, for example, you might say, I need to write an email to my email list about this, or I need to specifically design a module in my program, whatever the action is that you need to take. But on the other side of the triangle, you might write that the universe needs to bring beautiful synergies about clients who are ready to take the next step for you. Or perhaps help you to meet people who are going to advance your business in magical and as yet unknown and unpredictable ways. And this is exactly the action that I took yesterday. I decided that it was time to simply lean into the magic. So little of our lives are filled with magic. Too often we reject or we ignore the magical side of living and our lives. I know that for me, I've always been very left brain, very logical and practical. Come on, let's get it done, I'll say to the kids. Yeah, we'll play later. Let's do the tidying up first. Always been somebody that wants to get shit done before I want to invite in the magic. And you know what? About a year ago, I said enough to this. Now, I'm not saying that I have got all the way there, far from it. But my journey has taught me that when I do allow magic in, then the things that I really want the most happen. And not only that, they happen with ease. And this is so important because ease is something that I teach and I live by. I'm so done with efforting. But that's not to say that I don't constantly go around a cycle where I'm drawn into the efforting side. I want to do more if I want to achieve. And we know that often this is attached to low self-worth. We think that in order to feel worthy, we need to do more, we need to achieve more. And I've been on that cycle and I see that pattern in myself. Perhaps you do too. If you're working really hard because you know that you want to achieve something and feel proud and get certain numbers hit, that's wonderful. But if you're doing it to a point where it's feeling heavy, and you're working a lot of hours and it's damaging your well-being and you're not spending time doing the things you love and hanging out with your family, then you're leaning so much into the wounded masculine and not inviting in that divine feminine and ultimately the divine balance between the action and the inspiration. And so I made a decision. It is time again to trust the universe. And I had a second realization, which is trusting the universe and allowing the magic to happen often means that the actions that we do need to take happen so effortlessly. And that list that I'd made on the left-hand side of the triangle, the things that I needed to do, all got done in the space of a day. I'm not even kidding you. Although I haven't finished all of them, some of them have been sitting there for weeks and not even started because I felt like, well, I needed to do X, Y, and Z before I was ready. And yesterday, I just said, I am ready. The magic's coming, just do the thing. And this is where we get into quantum shifting. Now, I'm not a quantum expert, but I have been quantum curious for the last year, and I'm educating myself consistently about it. I'm more than just reading and doing programs to learn about it. I'm living it and I'm having those experiences so I can share them with you. And so I can make my life easier and I can help more people. I can be more abundant. And what I've learned about quantum shifting is that it's not rocket science. Well, maybe it is because it's all quantum, right? But the point is that you just have to believe and act the way you want to be in the future now. So if your goal is to have a 6-figure business, ask yourself, how would I be behaving right now if I already had a 6-figure business? What would I be thinking and what would I be doing? If you want to call in your next 3 high-ticket clients, imagine that you've already converted them, that they're already working with you. How would you feel and how would you act? And then it's a simple matter of doing that thing now. Now, for me, it's often about stepping into a tremendous amount of vulnerability, about my unique gifts, about my authentic message. And I've learned that when I step into that in a big way and I really feel those emotions, magic does happen. Let me give you an example from yesterday. I've been doing a lot of self-inquiry about why we hide some elements of ourselves. I work with a lot of my clients to help them bring their unique gifts, the special combination of their unique gifts into their business, to make their business unique. It's your message that really creates the resonance and allows clients to come towards you, to book with you, and most of all, get the transformation from working with you. And so working with my clients often provokes and triggers myself to the next level too. And I've spoken a lot recently about how I've integrated the 20 years of advertising agency and marketing experience I have, and the way that I am able to drive revenue and create marketing strategies, but combining that with a spiritual take on business inspired by the law of attraction or Kabbalah or pranic healing or any of the other modalities that I'm constantly researching and living. I put this message out in an email to my mailing list before Christmas, calling in female coaches who were ready to level up their unique message too and start to resonate and magnetize their soul clients. And when I spoke in those terms, I immediately converted some new clients. It was like magic. Connections that I had never expected suddenly dropped in, and they were meant to be. And yesterday I was reminded of the power of magic again. I took my vulnerability to the next level. Now, this is something that you might empathize with, because I have sometimes found it hard to share my direction with my spirituality with people from my previous life, the people that worked in my old office in London, in the advertising agency. That's a cynical bunch. And I spent 20 odd years working within that industry, sharing that cynicism. There wasn't always a lot of magic to be happening in those offices. And I felt a certain amount of embarrassment, or dare I say even shame, about saying who I'd become. At first, when I first launched my business back in 2020, it took me 4 months to change my LinkedIn profile. You know what I mean? It was something, and that was just to say that I'd become a business coach, that I had the audacity to be my own boss, launch my own business and call myself a business coach. It took me 4 months to just say that plainly in the spaces where I knew people from my previous life existed and would read it. And I got an outpouring of support. It was a really emotional and positive experience. And yet it's strange how we sometimes fall back into those old patterns and we forget that often sharing vulnerability and authenticity is the exact steps that create the momentum and the magic that take us to our next level. And so yesterday I shared again with everybody on Facebook, not just my mailing list, just not those people who are in my business world, in this world of coaching, but instead people who I went to school with and people who I used to work with, my aunties, my family, everybody on Facebook. And I wrote a post about how my business coaching has been infused with a very spiritual approach and how that's my passion and how I know that that's something I really want to share, even though I've been embarrassed, even though I felt that some people might think I'm weird. And I'd love for you to see that post. If I can, I'm going to put a link to it in the show notes so you can get the idea exactly about what I was saying if you wish to. But the point of it is that I shared this so vulnerably and I shared it without expectation. I didn't share it saying, I'm going to write this post and I want to get sales. I'm going to write this post and I want something. I just knew that this was pouring through me. It was like being channeled. You might call it being in flow, being inspired. And as I wrote this post, I was also inspired to write on the bottom of it that if you know anybody that, fits the bill, is a spiritual entrepreneur, she's a coach building her own business, and so on, then drop me a note. I'd love to help. And I woke up this morning and my inbox has so many messages of people that want to speak with me and work with me. And magically, even somebody who I worked with in the advertising world, who is still working in advertising, wants to chat to me about bringing a more spiritual approach to her work. And I'll tell you, I really did not anticipate that level of magic. Not only that, but a lady who I did a discovery call with last week, who I'm so inspired to help, literally sent me a note within minutes of all this happening and said, I can't wait to get started. It was like once the gateway to the magic is open, it just keeps coming. The things that you want keep happening. So let's go back to what I did to make this magic happen. Step number 1, start believing now that you are already that person. I projected myself forward to a place where I'm open and authentic in every way. I'm playing at a higher level so I can help my clients in a deeper way. And ask myself, what do I need to do to make that happen now? That's what inspired me to write that post. And more than just the post, to actually be that person, living in true authenticity. Secondly, what actions are you then inspired to do? Now, if it's pure inspiration, you will not have to force this. So if you are not inspired, it means you need to go back to stage 1. Are you really believing you are at your next level now? That's where the quantum shift happens. It's about belief and it's about feelings, and the actions flow from them, not the other way around. And believe me, that has been a hard lesson for me to learn. So once you have got yourself into that quantum level, feel it, believe it, then take the action. Now, if that is still challenging, I'm just going to give a suggestion for something you need to do beforehand, and that's raise your vibration. If you're not getting yourself into that quantum shift and you're not able to believe it now and to feel it now, then find some things that raise your vibration, whether that's dancing to some incredible music or taking a walk in nature, which is my personal favorite. Or perhaps it's reaching out and joining a mastermind or joining a coach or joining a mentor group or your pod or some people who can give you some really excellent advice about how amazing you really are. You just need to believe that you are that person now. I am so excited for your next level. And when that magic drops in, which can literally happen instantly, like it did for me yesterday, send me a note, tell me about it, share it. I would love to hear about your magic. This high vibe, high level conversation is exactly what is happening in Time to Rise, my new program that is starting imminently. I want you to be part of it. If you are buzzing right now with the things that I have shared, then you are called to be in this space with me. I want to share all the information and give you the opportunity to next level your business with tactical strategies so you can up level your authentic message, bring in all of your unique gifts so you have an authentic business that stands out in the crowd. But also it's about spiritual approach. It's about using energetics to up level how you show up so you can take those actions with inspiration, so you can build your business with ease and not effort. If this calls to you, I would love for you to book a call with me and we can chat about your needs and whether this program is the right fit for you right now. Jump into the show notes and click on the link, and I cannot wait to speak with you. Here's to an inspired action week and loads of magic. Take care. Bye now.